Hi guys, welcome to Nardi Elder Gaming, and we are back in Jurassic World Evolution 3. So, I just wanted to have a look at this little area we built up last time for the sauropods. Let's get a good view of them. There we go. Perfect. So, this area is complete. So, I've been doing a bit of thinking about what I wanted to do next, and I've decided that what we are going to do is we're going to make an area a bit reminiscent of Jurassic World, the film, for the Gallimimus and the Ornithomimids. So I want a big grass plain for them to run along, and I'm going to put a ride through it as well. So we're going to start that here. So I think what we'll do is we'll put up fencing along the back here to block this off. Let's have a look. So it doesn't have to be anything too over the top, because it's not going to be anything crazy going in there. So I just need to see how big we need to make. It doesn't have to be huge, to be quite honest. Right, so I think we'll do it about that size. That's okay. Now, what it is going to need is like hills and stuff like that. So let's adjust the terrain. I'll smooth this all out afterwards. I don't want them too big, to be honest. Right, let's go on to the smoother. So just to give it a little bumpy, a little bit of bumpiness to it. So I don't want anything too big. I just want it not to look artificial. That don't look too bad, does it? So before I actually do anything at all, I need to put the attraction in there. So let's build that in. So there we go. We can build that there. Let's just let's connect it on. Right, so I won't do the track or anything until we've finished. So I think we'll cover the back there with trees. Just in an attempt to hide the fences. There we go. That doesn't look too bad, does it? So I'm going to need some stuff in here to make it look a little less boring as such. Let's just don't want that sticking up too much at the back there. There we go. That looks a little bit more natural. Right, so that is a nice big open plain. So what we're going to do on here is we're going to get loads and loads of Gallimimus and Ornithomimimus, and I think we've got Archaeornithomimimus as well. So let me just put a gate in here as well. That can go in there. Let's have a look for the colourings. So I want to match that sort of colouring really. No, that doesn't look quite right, does it? There we go, that matches. So we just bring that over under the path there. No, that looks too rocky actually. No, that don't really match either. What is going to match to that? That looks a little bit more realistic, doesn't it? So if I get the grass, put that back around there. It's a bit annoying that that doesn't go neatly around there. I might be able to do that as some sort of decor later on, to be honest. Let's just plot that around a little bit with sand. I think I might actually change that to something a little bit more. Yeah, I think that looks a bit better. Try and make it look as though it's something that vehicles sort of pass over every now and then, but not all the time. Right, so let's have a look. We're going to need to see what kind of things these Gallimimus like. Now, I know I've got a lot of Gallimimus and that in the other. Actually, no, I think I've got Ornithomimimus, haven't I? In the other one. I don't think I've got any Gallimimus yet. So, Archaeornithomimimus and Gallimimus. There's the galleys. And I need to move the Ornithomimimus out of their paddock over the other side. And, oh, we got Struthiomimus as well. So, yeah, we're going to have Struthiomimus. So, yeah, so we're going to have all of them. Excellent. Right, let's have a look at their genome. I want something a little bit more interesting, to be honest. Let's go with that colour and the pattern. That, I like that. So let's go Amazon rainforest as well. So let's see what the difference looks if we swap between the sexes. Yeah, there's enough of a difference there. I like that. So let's begin that task. Right, so we got five.
Procedure complete.
Five going.
Personnel.
Right. Okay. Now what I do need to do is go back in and have a look at the info on them, see what they like. So they like water, ground fruit, and cover. So quite a lot of ground fruit. So what I want to do is I don't want those to interfere with the plains. So I'm thinking if we do ground fruit up along the back there. So where's ground fruit then? Am I missing it? Ground nut. Ground fruit. So that's the only one that can actually do ground fruit then. Okay, that's no problem. We can run that all the way at the back there. That looks a little bit too linear. I'm going to have to get here with the tree tool as well, I think. There we go. So that's still leaving plenty of open plain for them. Now I need water. So what I really want to do is just put a bit of a shallow stream-like affair over here. That's okay. That doesn't look too bad. I don't like these bits sticking up, so we might have to smooth those bits of terrain there. That's it. That's it. That makes that look a little bit more natural. Let's just sort that little bit out. Right, so what I think I'll do is I'll make some Struthiomimus. I'll get those in there. Right, I'll do the usual 2 males and 3 females.
Incubation complete. Prepare.
Asset collection request received.
Right, so we got them in there. So that's the Struthiomimus. Let's do the Ornithomimimus. I want them to look a little bit different. That could do it. And let's see what patterns they've got. I like that with the striped tail. Yeah, let's go for that. So Great Sandy Desert. And Pulcara. Yeah, that's good. So if we jump between male and female. Yeah. Only subtle differences in them, but that's fine. So if we do 3 and 3, so that's skittish, 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 and skittish. Okay. So we've got 2 skittish males and 2 skittish females. That's fine. We'll begin the incubation on them.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Struthiomimus to the party.
Right, so let's set this tour out.
The Struthiomimus is another species that firmly establishes the connection between dinosaurs and birds. Even its name literally means ostrich mimic. The similarities are uncanny, right down to this animal having a beak rather than teeth.
Oh, I think that's got to go in the other side, isn't it? Right, so I may need to I may need to have to move that.
Pleased to welcome a Struthiomimus to the park.
So if I put that one down about there.
Asset delivery confirmed. Asset being transported.
Right, yeah, so that one can go there. That one we can delete. And let's path that one up to there. Let's get rid of that bit.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Struthiomimus to the park.
Asset has been
Right, let's see if we can edit this. Obstructed by the gate. Of course it is. Right. Let's get rid of the gate. Put the gate a bit further up there. Edit the route. Right, so
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Struthiomimus to the park.
confirming asset delivery.
let's demolish that bit. Demolish that bit.
Asset in transit.
And let's see if we can link this one up now. There we go. Right, let's just have a look how these Ornithomimids are doing. Missing ground leaf. There's shitloads of ground leaf, mate. There's loads of it up over there. But it is looking very... Is that a bit too hilly for what I'm trying to get? What I'm trying to achieve? Let's try and drop some of these down a little bit. Not have it quite so bad. Right, let's see what that looks like. That's much better. Right, so let's have a look. There's our Ornithomimimus. Let's release all of them. Right, so let's go for the next one. Was it Gallimimus? Or did I just do Gallimimus? Ah, I'm confusing myself now. Struthiomimus we did. So Gallimimus next. Right. So these are the pattern from the film, which I'll go with. So we only had the female pattern from the film. Was that from the film? That doesn't look like the film to me. Do you know what? I think I'll go for a lighter colour. I think we'll go for that with Rana. And let's see what Death Valley is for the males with Rana. It's not much difference, is there? I need to have some kind of difference between them. Let's try. There we go. There's a bit of difference on there. So that's going to give us 6 of those. Right, they've got the skittish trait. But that doesn't matter. I don't mind the skittish trait, to be honest.
Asset in transit.
What I am going to need to do is possibly get the Gallimimus out of here. But that's going to be one hell of a job, I think.
Its name might be a mouthful, but the Ornithomimids has still managed to capture hearts and minds. And no surprise either. There's something about its bird-like stature that just feels kind of charming, you know? I have zero doubts that this one will be a real hit with our guests.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome an Ornithomimids to the park.
Delivery complete.
There we go. Nice look in.
Asset transportation in progress.
Right, they're still saying there's not enough water, but there is enough water. It's over the other side. They just haven't been that far yet.
Been transported.
And they're saying there's no...
Commencing asset
Oh, ground leaf. They need ground leaf. Right, okay. Ground leaf, there we go. So we'll fill up this side a little bit with ground leaf. And let's have a little bit down here as well.
Delivery complete. Asset transportation in progress.
Right, so the Gallimimus are ready for release. As soon as I can get them.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome an Ornithomimids to the park.
So I think we got one more to go.
Commencing asset transit.
The only thing I think is missing from these games is herding. Maybe it is in the game and I just haven't encountered it yet. I don't know. So let's have a look how he's feeling now. So he reckons there's not enough ground leaf. Only...
Asset has been transported.
You attacked my ride. What's wrong with you? Right. Let's release the galleys.
Picking up asset. En route to pick up the asset.
And now we should be able to go down and do the Ornithomimids. I'm going to leave those other Ornithomimids where they are for the time being. I need Oviraptors somewhere. Definitely got to have Oviraptors. Right, we'll try and make these different than the ones we got on the other islands. I'll make the females quite light. That's a nice pattern. Yeah, I think we'll do that. And the males, we'll make them quite brightly coloured, I think. I think we'll go with that. I quite like that. So, females, males. Let's begin that task. Right, so 3 of each in incubation. And I think what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to do another load of Gallimimus.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Gallimimus to the park.
Where's the Gala?
Asset being transported.
Oh, they haven't dropped it yet, that's why. So the Ornithomimids are ready.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Let's do some more galleys then.
Asset delivery confirmed.
synthesis.
There we go. So I want quite a lot of animals running around in this area to give it the impression that they're herding.
Asset in transit.
Right, it might be a little while before they're all fit and ready to go. Just having a little check on this area.
We are
Asset transported.
See, they're quite enjoying this sort of region here. They're sort of sticking around there. Got a couple up here. There's one brachio feeding up in the trees there.
Transporting asset.
Oh, I thought it was going to do the rearing up thing. Well, so much for my thumbnail. Right.
Asset delivered.
Well, let's go and while they're delivering, let's go and check on what we did last time. So we got the Carnotaurus in here. My favourites. There they are.
Transportation underway.
They seem very happy. What else did we do? I think that was it, wasn't it?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Gallimimus to the park.
Asset delivered. Transporting asset.
Yeah, there is a lot of Ornithomimids running around here. It would take me ages to sort them out. But what I could do with them eventually is if I don't want them in there anymore, I can just tranquilise them, then sell them. Because I've already got enough in here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a
Asset
Gallimimus
has
to the
been
park.
delivered.
I'm just wondering actually whether to put a hotel here.
Asset in transit.
Where's the hotels? Here we go. So we could put a hotel just in there.
Delivery complete.
Ladies and gentlemen, for your comfort, we've increased the hotel capacity of the park.
Right, I need to match that path in, don't I? There we go. And what I might do is put some amenities around here afterwards. And then they're right next to... See, that looks good. I like that. They look like they're flocking. Not flocking towards us. What are you waiting for? Why are they hanging around? You're holding up traffic. I was a bit concerned then. They look like they are flocking. If they are, then I am well and truly chuffed by that.
En route to pick up the asset. Asset to be collected.
So let's have a look at the Gallimimus. There they are. What are they missing? Oh, they need a bit of wetland. Well, surely...
Asset has been collected.
Let's put a little bit of wetland here, I think. Just to try and please them a bit. There we go. That's a little bit. I'm not going to do too much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome an Ornithomimids to the park.
Right, so he doesn't know about the wetland yet because he hasn't discovered it. But we'll have to give them a little while so they can actually find it. That's a hell of a tour going on here, considering nobody's down here. Let's see where...
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome an Ornithomimids to the
Confirming
park.
asset delivery.
So I'm just wondering actually whether to put a transport location down here.
Asset transportation in progress.
I could put it here, couldn't I? There we go. That was it. One of those, wasn't it?
Asset delivered.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome an Ornithomimids to the park.
Let's put that one on there. And then we can edit it so that it goes...
Transportation underway.
Where did I have that other one? I think that was over this side somewhere, wasn't it? I built a whole little area. Where is it?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome an Ornithomimids to the park.
Asset transported.
Oh, there it was.
Transit
No,
has
it wasn't.
commenced.
No, what am I talking about? That's the one I just did. So where did I build that little... Ah, there. Right, okay. So now I can see whereabouts it is.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Delivery
we are
complete.
pleased to welcome an Ornithomimids to the park.
Commencing asset transit.
So, okay.
complete.
Right, there we go. So now they can get right down. So I could put another one down here as well and connect it to that one. But I don't know whether that's necessary at the moment. Right, let's release the rest of the Gallimimus.
Helping to pick up the asset. Asset to be collected.
Let's put a viewing platform.
Transportation underway.
Right, it's not allowing those, so we might have to do a high one, I suppose.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Gallimimus to the park.
Transportation complete.
I think I'll put one there.
Commencing asset transit.
Because there's a lot of them congregating down here where the water is. Yeah, I quite like that view.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Gallimimus.
Asset delivery confirmed.
Right, so before I actually link that one up, I think we'll do...
Commencing asset transit.
I think we'll do some shops and that along here. I think what we'll do is we'll face them inwards.
We are pleased to welcome a Gallimimus to the park.
Asset delivered.
Actually put that down a bit quicker than I wanted.
Transportation underway.
What's the building constraints? I don't get that. Why is it not letting me build them there?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are
Asset
pleased to
delivery
welcome a
confirmed.
Gallimimus to the park.
Asset has been collected.
Don't understand why it won't let me put that one there. Right. Let's see if we can sort of line that one up. I want a bit of a plaza in the middle there.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to
Delivery
welcome a
has been
Gallimimus to
completed.
the park.
Let's just see if that's nice and flat. That is nice and flat, so I don't know why that's not allowing the building on there.
Asset has been collected.
Right, not exactly as I wanted it, but we'll live with it. Right, so we got the 3 big areas that we want, so let's have better chuck a restroom in, haven't we? See, we're going to tree this up in a minute as well. We better put an emergency shelter. Just in case. But that sort of wants to be hidden up around the back, really. Just about there. Right, then what I'll do is I'll paint the ground something good. Sand. No, that's not. Let's have a look at paths a minute. So we might be able to work it round like that. They're sort of getting there. I think that's the only real area that's not... Ah, there we go. So we'll go down and have a look at it in a minute anyway. Just looking at those thinking, could I do something with them? Now, unfortunately, the edges won't paint in. That is very annoying. Oh, that looks a bit better, to be honest. Just in grass like that, and then I can plant some trees. I might actually get rid of one of those and put a sculpture in the middle. So let's get rid of that one. And let's have a look for sculptures. Search for that. There we go, sculptures. Let's put that on the grass there. That looks alright. And then let's put another one over this side. I think we'll have a Dunkleosteus. Okay, that's thrown me a little bit. Why is that not connected to a path? That's better.
Ladies and gentlemen, our restroom is now open to use for whenever nature calls.
So let's do the old fountain in there. That's too small. Not sure whether that's exactly... That looks somewhere near, doesn't it? So let's get a nice decent fountain in there. There, that looks alright. That would look better actually. I'm going to delete that and that, and we're going to bring that other one in. It had more of an organic look to it, didn't it? There we go, that looks much better. Right, so let me just check on all of these areas. These ones I'm happy with. So we've got a Hyperloop station there. Still got no customers coming into this area though at the moment. But I guess it's early. I suppose I could do another Hyperloop here, couldn't I? Because I could still get another one into... Well, actually I could loop it to the one over there. Right, let's do that. So I'll set that opposite the... Opposite that, and then that can go... There we go, so that one's connected to that now. So they can get all the way over here. by the underground trains. Right, I need to bush these up a little bit. Foliage, there we go. Let's have a tree on both sides. And the same at this end. And then we need something. Oh shit. Come back. What I want to do is get these ones down. And then go in for something that's got plants in it. Add those on. Give it a bit of colour. Now, have we got a different type to put in this one down here? Landscape gardening has never been my forte. But I think they look alright. Only way to tell is to chuck me down there. There's a couple of customers down here. Yeah, I think they look alright. I'm just trying to think what else I could put there. I think for the time being I'm going to tree this area up. I was just thinking actually, I wonder if I could put a big rock in there as a little bit of a sort of just to give it something, you know, a little... I need to find those fallen logs as well, don't I? There we go, that gives, sort of breaks it up a little bit. A little shady spot next to the hotel. So it didn't take long. That looks fairly good. I'm quite happy with that. I mean, we could be putting little bits and pieces like signage. Oh, look what I just found. I need some of these for the Gallimimus, don't I? It's not really what I want, because what I want is a laying down one, don't I? Like so. I'll try and make sure I don't get them in the way of the tours out there. There we go. I suppose we should have a few small rocks and that around here as well. I don't want too many though, that's the thing. Because I want this to remain open pasture land. So they're really liking it over here, aren't they? So the tour's not really seeing much. Which is a bit annoying. So I wonder if I could put a little bit of water in there. Maybe a bit of ground leaf or something. Or ground nut. What was it the Gallimimus wanted? So they're missing ground leaf. So let's put a bit of wetland and ground leaf here. Put some ground leaf around here. Try and tempt them away. See, the Gallimimus are coming over this way now. Do I want more galleys? More is better, isn't it? Yeah, I'm gonna have some more Gallimimus in there, I think. It needs to be what's that? Oh yeah, I still don't link that yet. That's alright. So let's get some more galleys. I want loads of galleys running around in this place.
Synthesis.
I could start them breeding in there, couldn't I, really? But I don't want it to get out of control. I want to be completely in control of it. Right, so let's release these ones.
Acknowledging asset collection request. Asset requiring collection.
Right, now what I want to do is, while we got that underway, I want to have a look at the Oviraptors and see what they require. So they need a little bit of cover, a little bit of water. Why would they need ground leaf if they don't eat it? Oh, I don't matter. Right, so I don't know what sort of area we're going to need for them. I mean, Oviraptors aren't big. Let's just see how big they are in this. 0.8 meters. So yeah, they're small. So I can make a small enclosure for them. We could actually have that here, couldn't we? So let me think. If we let's just paint out a little area that we're going to use.
Asset has been collected.
So we could do it from here, down here, across here. I don't think we need anything bigger than that, to be fair. Now, am I going to be inventive again and drop the environment down? Oh, might have been a little bit more than I actually wanted.
Asset transportation in progress. Transportation complete.
Right, that's the kind of area that I want. But that's way too deep.
Transporting asset.
Let's raise up a little bit. That should be better, I think.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Gallimimus to the park.
Asset transported. Asset has been collected.
Right. That looks all right. So let's get the color right. Don't need snow in there.
We are pleased to welcome a Gallimimus.
Delivery has been completed.
Right, I still need to adjust that area yet.
Asset transportation in progress.
So it's not looking bad. So what I'll do is I'll do invisible fencing around the inside there to stop them getting up the slope. So it gives it the impression that the slope is actually stopping them from getting out.
Ladies and gentlemen, We are pleased to welcome a Gallimimus to the park.
Asset transported.
There we go, that looks a bit better.
Asset being transported.
So let's put... let's just... Let's do as usual. I don't want it to be all looking flat. There we go. Right, so let's have a look and see what they actually need, because on this one I'm not going to have any fences.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have added a new viewing platform, ready for you to gain an elevated view of our wonderful dinosaurs.
So I want paths going all the way along the outside. Oh, you shit. That was it then. That was looking really good. Oh, come on. Stop flopping around. Oh, that is well annoying. There we go. Damn it. There we go. Right, let's see if I can match this edge up to the path now. What could possibly go wrong? That. So difficult to get this to go right. So I think what I'll do is I'll put the small fences on like I had on the Coelophysis and Compsognathus. Just wondering actually whether to chuck some compies in here. Just as, you know, some extra running around. So right, if I do the If I do the invisible fence. Oh, come on. You just went up that one. How can that be too steep? Right. That ain't too bad, I suppose. But I wish I could get those sides the same as these were. Right, let's have a look at the fences that I used last time. Can't remember which ones they were. These could probably do it, couldn't they? Oh, these are going to be a nightmare to match up. Visible gate. And it's dropped everything down. That's not working how I want it to. Not at all. Trying to think how I'm going to do this. This makes it quite difficult. See, those sides are fine. That one's a bit janky. And then this one over here is terrible. So, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let's get rid of the... Get rid of that. Get rid of the path. Let's see if we can straighten it up a bit before we do anything else with it. So, I'm going to attempt to flatten the whole environment again. Nope. Try and straighten this wall up a little bit. Going a little bit more intense. Let's drop the radius. Right, that looks like a bit more of a drop straight down. So then what I can do is if I put a slope, going down like that, then I should be able to put a gate up there. That hasn't worked at all, has it? And look at that. Right. Sometimes this is a little bit frustrating. It's looking a bit better, but I don't like that. I think we could hide that with rocks again. Rocks, I think, are one of your best friends when you're trying to do this. Right, so that blocks all those up. That's not going to stay like that. We're going to put rocks down below to make it look like what it's supposed to. Give it a somewhat natural look to it. There we go. So that gives that a sort of rocky look going in. And then we got to give it the illusion that these are too high for the animals to get out, which we can do with the invisible fence. See if I can do them sort of halfway up the slope. Oh, come on. Oh, that is so annoying. Absolutely beyond belief. Right, let's see if we can flatten this bit of terrain just along there. And then flatten it down along here. And let's see how it goes from there. Oh, how can it be so steep? It's already done. Right, get rid of that. Let's try again. You wouldn't think it'd be so difficult just to put a bit of fencing in, would you? See, that's the problem. That bit there. It needs to be more linear, just, you know, like the rest. So let's bring that up. Then bring that down. It's not far off, but not great again. But let's see if it'll actually work. Stop going up there. I don't want you to go up there. I want you to go in a straight bloody line. Oh, that is so fucking annoying. Right. I probably should have done this using the slope tool, really. Right, hopefully that's a little bit better. But no doubt it'll probably end up looking even worse. I want you to follow that fucking line there. Right. Oh, why? Why have they made it so impossible? Right, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm just going to do it around the bottom there. I wanted it so they could come up a little bit, but it just ain't going to work. How can the terrain be too steep? It's flat. Oh, God. Right. And don't go up the fucking hill. I will get there in the end. I will somehow manage to... do something with this. No, don't go up the fucking hill. Ah. Right. Hopefully that should do it. Wonder what that was then. Right, so they should be able to see these Oviraptors without any fencing at all around there. Right, let's have a look what Oviraptors... Where are you? Let's see what we need to put in for them. Feels like about 2 hours ago that I actually looked at this screen. It was probably about a minute ago. Right, so let's have a look. We want 15% cover, 10% water, mostly ground leaf. We can do that. So let's start to get them ready. I think we're definitely having that one. It's getting quite brightly coloured, I think. Females, males. Yeah, I like that. So what are we getting? 6. That's not bad. So 3 of each.
Now, please stand by.
We'll get those ready. Let me just reinforce these rocks here because I don't want any of them climbing out anywhere.
dem Betreten und Verlassen der Fahrzeuge der Jurassic Tour auf. We ask that you remain inside the tour vehicle at all times.
Asset requiring collection. En route to collect the asset. Heading to pick up the asset.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome an Oviraptor to the park.
Asset has been collected.
Ladies and gentlemen, to the park.
Transporting asset.
The Oviraptor got its name from the hypothesis that it survived by stealing and eating eggs from other dinosaurs. It's not a feeding habit that will win you many friends, but it is another amazing example of how species rely on one another in surprising ways.
We are pleased to welcome an Oviraptor to the park.
Transporting asset. Asset transported.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome an Oviraptor to the park.
Asset in transit. Asset transported.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome an Oviraptor to the park.
Transporting asset. Delivery has been completed.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome an Oviraptor to the park.
Transportation underway. Asset delivered. Delivery complete.
Right, so that's all that checked on. Just having a little check around the park there. Right, so yeah, the only problem with this area that I hate is the fact that you can't switch the water off. Or I don't know how to switch the water off in order to sort of build it up under water to make it look a little bit more appeasing, you know. Because if you go into the lagoon and check in the lagoon, all you're going to see... Let's go back in there a minute. Let's lower the stand and show the view.
When these animals first inhabited the Earth's ocean,
See, it's a bit dull under there.
also home to a myriad of fish, ammonites, and other water-dwelling life forms.
See, I can go into that, but I can't do anything else. I'll have to figure that one out, I think. Right, so I'm sort of thinking now here to make another lagoon in which just to have megalodons.
Nature is amoral. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. Sometimes triumphant, sometimes tragic. Of course, the death of any animal, let alone one displaced in history, is always a tragedy.
Right, so that should be big enough just for the megalodon on its own. It's a little bit off-centered. That's better. So I think what we'll do, we'll put a feeding platform in the middle there. About there, and then we'll have a couple of viewing platforms on either side, if it allows me to do it. A shame you can't get those up together so you can actually move them around. So you could have like a whole stadium going all the way around it. Right, so that's quick and simple to do the megs. Let's see if I can move them over a minute. Oh, I wish you could tranquilize them in the same thing. Right, where did I put the... I had a ranger outpost, didn't I? But I can't remember where I put it. There it is. Add a task.
Okay, the drone is being deployed. Adding task.
Right, so it should just be the two of them. Not quite sure how this is going to work out. Trying to tranquilize an underwater animal. Loads of people wandering around this area, like. But I need to get people down the other end as well.
En route to pick up the asset. Asset to be collected.
There we go, that wasn't too bad. So what should I do to actually invite people into this area? I reckon I could have a path up there, and then there needs to be... maybe have it walled off with a big sign up there with Megalodon.
Transit has commenced.
Let's try it that way. That might be
Asset in transit.
quite interesting. Right, let's move that one back a little bit. Just bring that over just a little bit. Right, so as you come up round here, you walk up this way, that way's blocked off, and then you have the entrance to the Megalodon Kingdom, as it were. Let me think, can I... I want to change that. I don't really want that kind of wall there. That doesn't look... Okay, let's demolish that and... oh shit, that's not what I wanted to demolish. Right, I'm just trying to visualize what we can do with this. Ideally, what we will need is a path going up the middle. And then what I'd like is an archway. See if we've got any archways. We have got archways. Okay, so we can put that down there. Shall I make it like a little tunnel? I hate that. I want that to move smoothly. See, it's not even going the same way round that that one went. That's better. So if I put that one about there. I want the whole thing, not just half of it. That's it. Right, so that can be like a kind of tunnel to go in through. So what I need to do now is to like make a... Did I just say? So I wonder if I can scale that one down. So that one can sort of give the outline. Try and get something similar onto this size. Right, so what I can do then is use some of these other rocks to fill in the gaps, as Henry Wu would say. Let's make that a bit smaller. Come on, scale then. There we go. Right now, so I need to fill that gap up there with smaller ones. Have we got any long? That would be perfect, I believe. Right, let's have another smallish one on top here. Sort of more or less done it, isn't it? There we go. So that's done that entrance. That's done that entrance. So now all I really need to do is to build a roof onto this lot. Then it'd be a nice tunnel going in. Right, let's use some of these flatter ones. That worked quite well. So that's done that side. And then now if I can block it up. Right, so let's see if that's blocked that off completely. Which I think I can still see a gap there, so Let's just get a boulder in there. Right, I think what we do, we go down and have a look. So we walk upon this. This is what we see. And we come out here to the Megalodon enclosure. Right, that one's sticking out a little bit at the top there. Don't like that too much. Right, so this whole bit here is going to be, it's going to basically be blocked off with bricks, boulders, you know what I mean. Now what I need is some kind of lighting under here. Which I want to try and place onto the arches if I can. Should I get some floor lights? So I'm guessing we're not going to see these till night time anyway, are we? So I'm guessing there's no way of actually turning those on until it's night time. So let's have a, just before I do this, let's just quickly save this. Because what I'm going to do, so I'm going to go into the sandbox settings and I'm going to put it to night time. Right, so there we go. So they do light it up a little bit. That's not bad. But what we really want is like some kind of like street lights. Could have those kind of lights, couldn't we? Put one that side, one that side, one by the arch, one by the arch, one by the rock, one by there, and then we'll go out the other side There we go. So it's nice and lit up for anybody who decides to walk through. So let's have a little walk through and see what it's like. So this is where we'll have all the advertising for Megalodon. So you come through here, and then you come out here, and this would be like the plaza leading into it. I quite like this. I think it needs something though, doesn't it? It needs probably some kind of decoration on the wall to show that it's in like a marine environment, or lead into a marine environment. Let's have a look at the statues, see if there's anything for Megalodon. Just seeing if there was anything in here that could go in there to... The only thing we really got is the Megalodon statue. Dunkleosteus statue, sorry. I don't really want that. Just thinking actually that this could look good right up in the, as you're coming out of here. That could be right in front of you, couldn't it? God, who's causing the traffic jam? That is very annoying. Let's see if I can flatten that terrain so he can move off. I don't understand what's... Oh, I see, his wheels caught. Oh, come on. Right, well hopefully that'll be sorted by the time I come in with the next one. Right, so now that I've got the little tunnel display done, we can put it back into daylight mode now. There we go. Well, so far everything's been working alright on here. Until he came along. It's going to do my head in listening to that all the time. Right, so what we want to do now is we need to fence this off completely with rocks. So you can't see any of this. And then of course we're going to foliage it up. Use that one to block that way off there. And then there we go. So now, as you approach that, all you see is a big rock face. I think actually what we need is some more rock on top. Let's look for something flat. Hopefully these won't affect it underneath. There. Oh, they finally managed to move off. Brilliant. Right. So now this is looking much better. So you approach this. You can see the tunnel with the sculpture on the other side. I think we'll have an avenue of trees down each side. So if we start that off with changing the environment, like so. And then we can go in and treeify it. Just gonna find some. Is that some? I was going to say conifers, but they're tiny. No, they're too small. We need some kind of big tree. They're better. So you're walking along, and it's like you're going through a forest path to actually get to the next exhibit, which will be Megalodon. So I wonder if I could put Megalodon and can't think what it's called now. Oh, I hate when it goes out of my head like that. Was it? Was it? Come on. I cannot get the name in my head. Yeah, I know it very, very well. Right, let me just... I'm going to sand this area up. To give it a more sort of... marine type look to it. Can't believe that I can't get that fucking name of that marine reptile in my head. Mososaurus. God's sake. Don't know why that wouldn't come to me then. Yeah, so I'm thinking what we'll have over here is a Mososaurus and Megalodon enclosure. And I want it to all be sandy to make it look like a sort of beach. I know I still got to put the pathways on. Yeah, I know. And we'll block the back off there eventually with like a cliff face to give it like a beach effect, so it actually looks like you've walked onto a beach. And then of course you're going to see marine creatures. So we would have Megalodon in there. So I think what I'll do is I will demolish part of their enclosure, and then what I'll do, if I put a path just going through like that to separate it, then what I'm going to have is another marine enclosure here, which is going to be stop trying to join up. There, so we've got two enclosures there. So one of them's going to be for the Mososaur, and the other one's going to be for Megalodon. So we need to bring the beach down with us. I want to cover this all with beach. So the good thing about this is by bringing this down this end of the park, it's not going to have all the major attractions right in the entrance as soon as you walk in. There we go. So entranceway goes in through the tunnel into the back there where we're going to have our cliff faces, which actually the cliffs will start around here. Along here, and they'll block off that fence. And then we'll bring it round there. So it's probably going to have to be quite a bit of messing around with this to get this to look right. I don't need to do all that now. I can do all that at a later time. So it goes from a small bit of cliff there and it rises right up. Rises right up, not raises. I know what I meant. Let's just see if we can jam that in there. Let's put it in again about there. So let's see how that looks as we actually come out the other side. So we walk in, we can see the rocks up in the background there. We come through the tunnel. And we led right onto a cliffside beach. Then, of course, we look over there. And here we've got our attractions. So, round here we would have the signs for Megalodon. And that would be just the view you'd really want to see as you walked in. That would be absolutely awesome. So, there's our view of Megalodon. I may even put a couple more Megalodons in here yet. So I suppose, in theory, I could put a hatchery lagoon hatchery there. And also a lagoon hatchery there. Right, what's that obstructed by? There's nothing obstructing that. Right, that's good. So they're not connected up yet. Nothing's connected up, but that doesn't really matter. But yeah, I think I do need to get the Megalodons breeding in there, I think. I might even get them breeding. Build up a huge supply of them. But anyway, I think things are looking pretty good. So what have we achieved in this one? We've got our Ornithomimid enclosure with the trucks that can't seem to go more than half a mile without breaking down. It's very janky, isn't it?
à la marche en montant à bord du véhicule et en descendant lors de la visite Jurassic.
There we go, Gallimimus, looking happy. That's what we like. Yeah, they're happy. Right, so yeah, as I was saying, so we've done our Gallimimus tour. We've got our Oviraptor environment. Let's see if we can find one. There we go. So, they're not happy. Why are you not happy? Not enough grounding. Oh, come on! It's like literally a tiny little... Oh, I'm not even going to get involved in that right now. So yeah, so we've done that. We also built up this little plaza as well. We've got a few people turning up now. That's good. It's getting a little bit more occupied along here. Probably the sauropods are bringing them in. So yeah, so we got that one done. We've now got 2 fresh lagoons ready to go. So on the next one, we'll come in and we'll be working on these a bit more. We'll finish off the entrance. We'll finish off this huge cliff face all along the back here. And we'll get that inhabited. We'll get this. This is inhabited, but they're elderly. So we might have to put a breeding thing. I don't think elderly will breed though. That's the problem. So I might just have to create a couple of Megalodons to go in there. I'm just wondering whether to put Kronosaurus in here with the Mososaur. I forgot it again. So we could have Kronosaurus and Mososaurus in there. I nearly forgot it once more. That's doing my head in now. I'm going to stop now before I forget even what these strange fish-like things are called. So there we have it. That's what we got to on this episode. And I'm quite happy with the progress we made. So if you want to join me for the next one when we sort those lagoons out, remember to like and subscribe and all that jazz. And I will see you on the flip side. I'll catch you all later.